Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Dino Crisis 3. Potentially the finale, because I feel like there's not really much to do. There's at least not a lot of areas left, unless the game is going to make me go, like, all the way back to the front of the ship. Help! There it is. Okay. Perfect. Let's do this. Locked. Security pass level 3. Let's go. Integrated plant access way 2. Determine monitoring the energy supply status of each sector. Sector 1. Deck sector, normal energy level. Shaft sector, normal energy level. Energy sector, normal energy level. Oops. Oh my god. Mother sector data restricted. Ah! Ow! System overload due to a violent disturbance in the energy core. Monitor displaying past reports of energy core related accidents. Description of accident. A violent disturbance in the energy core caused the following: abnormalities in the deck sector's environmental system, abnormalities in the shaft sector's gravity control, energy leak in the energy sector. Fortunately, discovery of these problems and actions to correct them were prompt, and there were no human casualties. Diagnosis: a mishandling of the alternate operation of the third energy reactor system's energy core and the ship's power generators during warp navigation was identified as the cause. Specifically, both the energy core and the generators were simultaneously activated, creating surplus energy that overloaded the core's capacity. Actions taken. The energy surplus was reduced by reactivating the core with a stronger energy counterload. This was accomplished by inserting the atomic cylinder stored in hazardous waste storage area in the deck sector into the core's activator terminal. Additional notes: the accident is evidence of significant defect in the warp navigation system. The system will be reviewed and modified to ensure the safety of the crew. Release the security lock. Mission file updated. Acquire the atomic cylinder to reactivate the energy core. Oh my fucking god. I completely forgot about that tiny-ass room. I actually do have to go all the way back. I can't believe it. I was joking. No! Go all the way fucking back. This sucks. Oh yeah, it said gravity control. Okay. Whew. They're still here. Worthless, all of you. Keep going. I'll see what I can get out of Mother. You've been here for ages. Take care of yourself. You've been here for age. I hate both of you. All right. Main shaft A. Okie dokie. HFB. Security control room clearance required. Okay. Like, huh? Door locked due to current formation change structure. Use control grips. What the fuck is this gonna do? Disengage main bridge. Ah, okay. Interesting. Interesting. And I need that side. Seems like an especially precarious structure. Operations room port side. Oh yeah, it did say temper control, didn't it? control room. None of this connects. Computer control terminal. Security maintenance terminal for issuing hazardous waste storage entry permit. Mobile device acquired. Oh wait, mobile device required. I need to find the mobile device. Okay. Just keep shooting. Just keep shooting until they're dead. Okay, I guess I have to go the other way. Thank God I don't have to go through the fucking storage sector. Do-do-do-do-do. This place is also separated. Weird. Weird. Okay. Ow. Maintenance platforms activated. Gonna slow down all the way. Mobile device. Terminal for monitoring energy distribution in each sector. Alright, now we go back. Use mobile device. Alright. Now those are unlocked. Entry permit issued for hazardous waste storage. Okay, 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 okay. Oops. Yeah, formation, change it back. Bom, 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 bom. Okay, I'm just gonna go. power station access way / port side. Oh, what the fuck? Okay. Has this waste storage entrance. Whew. Has its material storage unit, open storage unit. Huzzah! Atomic cylinder. What the fuck is this music? What the fuck? That's good. That's good. Alright, where is it forcing me to go? Forcing me to go that way. Oh, does it want me to go, like, all the way around? The important thing is that it's gonna make me go through the fucking hangar again. Yeah, I see the game you're playing. Bastards. Ooh, spooky. Yeah. Go through the hangar again, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Totally not a boss. Totally not a boss coming up. Is it... Can it control the temperature?
Mother! Is that you again, Mother? Captain Evan?
I am Mother.
What?
You and your friends are getting in the way of my work.
Your work? What are you talking about?
I cannot permit any more of this. I shall terminate you, as well as your collaborators.
What?
You again! Is it the same boss?
Looks like the atmospheric system has completely malfunctioned.
You gotta stabilize the condition before I turn into an ice stick.
I'll take care of it.
Karen.
Oh, she did? She just took care of it.
Patrick, you still there?
Yeah, still here.
There's still some potential danger in that area. Come back here, ASAP.
Roger.
Oh, thank God. I don't have to go.
All right.
Patrick, we have no idea what Mother has planned for us. We have to move cautiously at all times.
Mission file updated. Reactivate the energy core. Now I had to go back in fucking there. Be careful. Or you must activate the energy core. Alright, we're going to go here. Okay. I could still probably beat the game in this video. That section only lasted about 50 minutes. Now, I am still technically in the revisit section, because now I'm back in the plant. Graded plant. just gonna go. I don't care about those snakes. Going down. Ugh. We got places to be. I'm not about to spend another 15 hours just repeating the same, like, room events. I used to want upgrades. Now at this point, it doesn't really matter. Like, maybe one more health upgrade would be cool, but, like, it doesn't matter that much, let me tell you. Mother has overloaded the core. Use atomic cylinder. Why does he look like that?
No!
Patrick, Mother is trying to detach herself from the rest of the ship. We'll be reduced to space dust if we stay here. We're moving to a new location. You'd better do the same.
Roger.
What'd I do? Oh! Go fuck yourself. Oh, okay. Okay. The center duct access way.
Are you okay, Sonia?
Patrick, you gotta see this. escape shuttle. It's in working order. We can get back to Earth.
But before that, I'm going to the mother room.
Yup. You already passed level 4. I'll handle the escape shuttle. You take care of Mother. You're going to face Mother, aren't you? That's what I said. New file. H3A Android. H3A Android is a multifunction android developed on board the Ozymandias under the supervision of Dr. Velasquez. Based on the technology pioneered by Dr. Morton in the year 2050, the H3A resembles humans in terms of physical appearance and bodily functions. Its highly advanced neuro AI has made the android an ideal candidate for personal support and is currently assisting the science division in several key projects. Dr. Velasquez believes that a further enhancement of the AI will allow the android to actually express emotion. H3A is expected to play a major role in the colonization of Alpha 2. Okay. center duct interior. Okay. Terminal for resetting the vertical support units. replace the elevator power link. There we go. Yippee! Oh. Okay. Let's do this. The mother room.
Mother. At last we meet. Now if you would just kindly answer some of my questions, we won't have any trouble.
Terminal for monitoring growth in the genetic generation unit. Activate system terminal prior to operating this unit. Genetic generation system terminal. Activate.
Karen. What? You...
Terminal for monitoring growth. Activate.
Human babies? The life signals were coming from here?
These are the humans I have created, as per Captain Evans' request.
I thought you couldn't do that with human DNA.
Which is why I was forced to create a hybrid. I searched my samples and combined human and dinosaur DNA in order to complete my directive. I have accomplished my mission.
So those dinosaur monsters, the ones running around the ship, those were the side products of your attempt to create humans?
That is correct. After I had succeeded in breeding the human infants, I went to Alpha 2, where I found an environment in which human beings could never thrive. I then opted to transport the humans to Earth and created enough Karens to match the babies so that they would have mothers to care for them.
This is out of control. I won't allow it. No matter how human they look, if they contain dinosaur DNA, they're not human. They're monsters!
This is my order and my purpose. You will not get in my way.
Very cool of Mother to give this dinosaur an area to just kind of be cool in. Oh! Just murder this fucker. Alright. Also, that hurt a lot. Idiot. Okay.
If you insist on sending those babies to Earth, I'll blow up this entire ship. You and me included.
wanted to do was to complete my mission. My mission, my mission, my mission, my mission, my mission, my mission.
Mother system has failed. The ship can no longer navigate without the system. This ship will self-destruct. Passengers are advised to evacuate immediately.
Patrick!
Get to the escape shuttle!
No kidding.
Come on, Karen! What are you waiting for?
Who are they?
Go. You mean I can go back to Earth with you? I don't have to stay here anymore? Gotta hurry and get out of here.
This ship will self-destruct. Self-destruction now irreversible. All passengers to evacuate the ship immediately.
What the fuck?
I refuse to die in this dump!
Get it fucking like, Nate, take a look at this shit.
Escape while you can! I'm not human! You can't go to Earth!
Karen!
Why do you get just run past them? Out of order. Acquired file. Shuttle launch procedure. Obtain rear engine entry permit. Access the formation change terminals respectively located in the portside and starboard rear engine areas. Using the terminals, disengage the engine sector to change energy distribution. Proceed immediately to the escape shuttle. Note, shuttle launches require authorization from either the commanding officer of the ship or the mother computer. To reach the shuttle hatch, you must disengage the rear engine portside and the rear engine starboard, issuing rear engine entry permit for entry to the rear engine starboard. To reach the shuttle hatch, you must disengage the rear engine portside and rear engine starboard. Okay. Hell! Go to the rear engine starboard. Use the permit. Okay. Rear engine starboard. You're fucking kidding me? There's just a boss fight in here? I've already fought this thing 3 times! Go fuck yourself. Haha. Alright, we got a limit breaker. And more laser. Perfect. Terminal for operating the ship's formation change system. Operate terminals of both rear engines at the same time to disengage.
Looks like it needs to be operated from 2 locations simultaneously.
I'm going. You just operate it from this end.
Sibyl Rhea? What? Confidential. D09909X, Sibyl Ray. DNA prime Gigantosaurus. Purpose to create an adaptable life form capable of surviving in any environment. Successful attempt at developing the ultimate life form. Sibyl Ray is capable of surviving on land or in space. Extremely resilient. The creature is the Regel's final stage of growth. Sibyl Ray displays an aggressiveness that is well beyond its predatory instinct. So she fucking sucks. There better not be another boss in this next area.
This ship will self-destruct in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Self-destruction will not be reversible. All
course, there's a fucking countdown. Formation change.
Unmuted. Changing formation. Stand by.
Change the formation. What am I gonna do? Say no? Okay, I'm back on the starboard. Oh, thank God.
We don't have much time. I'll feed you at the escape.
Okay. Shuttle hatches open. Go! Oh my God!
About time. Damn it! We're not gonna make it with that thing on the shuttle.
I'm gonna teach that persistent creature a final lesson.
Hey, genetic freak. You're not on the boarding list. So get off the boat.
Jesus Christ. Ah! Ah! Incredible. Oh! Ah! Okay. To maneuver the final Wasp vehicle, use the left thumbstick. Press the stick up to move forward, down, backwards. B to move up, fire the laser cannon. Oh! Why? Why did it spin like a fucking Beyblade? Oh my god. That was fucking gross. I can't.
It's finally over.
Oh my god.
Karen.
Why'd it just suddenly become a top-down shooter? And it was the... I know I'm on easy mode, but that was also the fucking most pathetic top-down shooter I've ever played. That's it. Oh my god. It ends like that. What what an incredible experience for potentially all the wrong ways. I don't think the plot was awful. It wasn't great. It was very... not even B-movie. This is like C-movie horror script. But as a Dino Crisis game, this is horrific. as the final Dino Crisis game ever made, this is something else. I learned something that makes this game even more ridiculous. The fact that Dino Crisis 3 was apparently originally going to be an actual game. Yeah. So this is from the Wikipedia page. I will say that. But you know, it cites its sources, so I'm gonna state this as fucking fact. The original proposal for Dino Crisis 3 was for a quote-unquote human drama set mostly within an unspecified facility in a city under siege from rampaging time-displaced dinosaurs, with the player being able to fight the dinosaurs with AI partners, and in which the decisions made by the player could change the course of the story. That sounds about right for what you would think of a continuation from Dino Crisis 2. Since 2 ends with Regina going back to real time. But then fucking 9/11 happens. That's not a joke. That 9/11 fucking happens. And they decide, perhaps we should move away from the city environment. From a ruined, destroyed city environment. And I guess they just thought spaceship. Why their minds immediately went from, like, okay, we don't want to set this in, like, a ruined New York or a ruined San Francisco. That might be a bit fucked up right now in current political climate. Let's instead set the game 200, 400 years in the future on a spaceship with a mad AI trying to fuse human and dinosaur DNA. How, I want to know how we went from that to this. I want to know, I want to see the board. I want to know, to be a fly on the wall for the conversations that must have occurred to go from a fairly... Oh my god, it's by fucking... Oh my god, Flagship Returns. They must just be a, like a helper studio of some kind, because I've seen Flagship from everywhere, from Kirby to this game. Oh my god. But, like, to be a fly on the wall for the board meetings that occurred in order to go from a fairly reasonable continuation of 2 you up the stakes. It goes from a singular island facility to a uh like a colonization effort of sorts. Yeah, I don't care about my results screen. I'll tell you that much. Yeah. You think I give a shit about the results screen for Dino Crisis 3? I barely gave it for 2. Yeah. I how did it jump? How did it jump from that? How did it go from one to the other? It truly is just jumping the shark. This is, but yeah, to go from I'm losing my mind just because of how insane the idea of this is. To go, like I said, to go from isolated island environment to like an attempt to form like a sort of like enclave. So there's a lot more like civilians involved now. To then going into just like major populated areas. Like it's a continuation. You know, kind of like Resident Evil, which Dino Crisis is just dinosaur Resident Evil. You go from a mansion to a city to I guess the third one is just a city again. Uh but then Resident Evil 4 is like a Spanish village, a really big Spanish village even. So like completely away from the typical environment you'd think of. And then Resident Evil 5 is borderline the entire continent of Africa. I know it's not actually the entire continent of Africa, but like the scope of the game, it insinuates where it's like it starts in a village and then you basically take a trek through the savannah that must be miles away to another village to then a swampland to tribal lands. It's like there's an escalation there. This goes, and honestly, the Dino Crisis escalation is a lot more gradual because, like I said, you got Lone Island, you got kind of like an enclave, and then you got the big populated city area for 3. Instead, it goes isolated area, enclave, space shuttle 400 years in the future. I want to know the thought process. I need to know the thought process. It's not like once again, it's not like Resident Evil. It's not like you had Resident Evil 4, which, redefined action games, and then you have Resident Evil 5, which is them trying to continue the success of 4, and then 6 trying to continue the success of 5, and them slowly just like running into a gutter and kind of damaging the horror brand of Resident Evil and turning it more into an action game and just completely losing focus, and then going, okay, sequel slash soft reboot with Resident Evil 7, and that's why it's so different from everything else. Dino Crisis 2, as far as I'm aware, sold well and reviewed well. Let me double check that. I know a lot of people like it. A lot of people like it better than the first game. I'm not one of them. However, I know a lot of people like it better than the first game. Okay, apparently the PC port sucks. However, everything else, yeah, it's basically like an 85. Like 85 out of 100 kind of thing. 8 out of 10. So this is it. Like they went from a horror game, and then they were just like, okay, this is basically just Resident Evil with dinosaurs. Let's try to make it more unique. And so then they made it more arcadey shooter, and it was a success. And then this, I don't. Why? Why? It's if you really didn't want to do the city, fine. But how did it get to this? How did we get here? This is crazy. This is a crazy leap in logic. The only thing I can think of is that this is entirely spitballing because this is not on any kind of wiki or any source of any kind. The only thing I can think of for such a massive jump in plot ideas and setting is just, 9/11 happened. They don't want to do the city aesthetic anymore. And then, like, the director, the producer, possibly even both, were just like, fuck, man, if we can't do that, I honestly don't got any ideas. And then they were just like, well, does someone have, like, a half-finished product that we can insert Dino Crisis into? And then they had this. They had a space game that someone was, like, developing for the Xbox, and they were just like, you only really have gameplay down and haven't really written much of a story yet. Okay, we're just taking this project over. Because I don't get it. I don't get how do we get here? How does this become Dino Crisis 3? It's nuts. It's nuts. Spoiler alert, not really well received. Better than I thought. It only received quote-unquote mixed reviews. Roughly a 5 out of 10 to a 6 out of 10 kind of range. So not as bad as I thought. Oh my god. The scrolling through the first excerpt I see is IGN expected that players would spend 80% of their game to be firing at enemies that are out of their view and dodging attacks from off screen. Yeah, that sounds about right. Also, this also has a couple of things that I will talk about positively. The plot's insane. To call this Dino Crisis 3 possibly even more insane than the plot itself. Gameplay is fine. Like, the shooting gameplay is fine. They really reduce the amount of weapons that you have compared to Dino Crisis 2. Maybe they were trying to streamline it, but I think it just kind of ends up worse because of it. However, Dino Crisis 2 was a lot more linear because of its arcadey style and format. This game brings back a lot more of the backtracking kind of sprawling environment that is more so found in typical survival horror games. It's still much more linear than a lot of other games, but it is not entirely linear, and it does allow for some movement, and it does allow for some thinking in regards to, okay, I need to get from this point to this point. Okay, I have this, now where do I go? Kind of thinking, which is nice. Especially in regards to the formation change system. Genuinely. That idea is fantastic. Honestly, how I was saying they just interjected the plot of Dino Crisis into this. Honestly, it would not surprise me if after the original plans fell through, someone just came up with the idea of a formation changing spaceship, and then that idea was just so cool that they just were just like, yeah, it's a space game now, so that we can have the formation changing ship. Because honestly, the formation change system, the idea of you being able to go to terminals and changing the layout of a spaceship in order to accommodate and go to certain areas is so cool. I can't remember any other game that really does anything like that. Uh and even this game, like I could think of a couple of ways they could have even made it better and more puzzle boxy. Cuz a lot of the formation change system is you eventually get to a formation change terminal and like you just have to hit the button for the formation change. There's no really there, there's nothing that would insinuate like not formation changing would actually be viable, or maybe going like doing a formation change, doing something, and then going back and unformation changing. Like it's very obvious when you need to do formation changes because the game kind of leads you to the formation change terminals. So in that regard, it it wasn't brought to its fullest potential, I think, because the idea of like, potentially having like a central room sort of ship, like imagine uh a ship more so like a flying saucer kind of thing. This is just an idea. Imagine that with like the 5 or 6 sections of the ship, and then a central room. And then from that central room, you can do formation changes on each side and maybe combine certain sectors together. Like there's a lot that could have been done with that system. Uh and it's not really done here. It's still a really really cool idea, but like there's like if you find a formation change terminal, you're going to want to do a formation change. Like there's no real like, oh, but what if I do this? Is no, you're going to do a formation change. The game requires you to do a formation change. That's the only way for you to be successful. Uh Could have done a lot more with it, but it's still a really, really, really good concept. And I don't think any other game has really done anything like it. At least not off the top of my head. I can't think of anything quite like the formation change. In fact, I'm going to look it up. Oh my goodness. 20 games like Dino Crisis 3. That's crazy. Is this like what the fuck is this? 20 games like Dino Crisis 3. Is this just like an AI site or something? Cuz that's a weird. See, I don't even think it's right. It's got fucking Wolfenstein the Young Blood. That's got to be like a fucking AI generated article. There ain't no way like 20 games like Dino Crisis 3 unless they're insinuating like 20 games like Dino Crisis 3, i.e. bad. Like uh yeah, this is nuts. But yeah, uh I'm actually quite happy that I played this. I beat all the Dino Crisis games. I'm probably one of the few people who can say that, because a lot of people will either never touch Dino Crisis 3, and there's an equal amount of people who will probably never touch Dino Stalker. So the fact that I have played both puts me in a little special category. I'm not like super special. There's probably, a couple million people that have done that, but it's not a it's not the average Dino Crisis fan experience, I would think, to play both really bad sequels. to a pretty decent duology. Like I will always defend the first Dino Crisis. I know a lot of people like will just call it Resident Evil with dinosaurs. I've even said Resident Evil with dinosaurs, but like to me that was just the best one. Of course, like there's so many action games and action movies that feature dinosaurs. But dinosaurs are fucking scary. Like, you know, like Jurassic Park the book versus Jurassic Park the movie type shit. And it's just like dinosaurs are freaky creatures. Like imagine an actual velociraptor. Like that's not something you're immediately going to go shoot. You're going to want to hide. You're scared. Like if fight or flight mode against a velociraptor, I'm thinking 99 out of 99 people are going to run. Maybe run and shoot, but like never just standing your ground. You're not standing your ground against a fucking velociraptor. So like of course, like yeah, a horror game where instead of zombies or ghosts or manifestations of your deepest sins, uh all of which, funnily enough, are fairly slow monsters. Not that there can't be fast ones. Hell, even Resident Evil had like hunters and lickers, which were a lot quicker. Uh, and then Nemesis in 3. But like the generic ones, like the generic zombies. Dino Crisis's generic zombies were velociraptors. Immediately just a different ball game. Like you even if all they did was basically replace the zombies with dinosaurs, just that idea changes everything. Because velociraptors are immediately more threatening creatures, more threatening quote unquote stock enemies than a zombie ever will be. Especially with the idea that Dino Crisis 1 had, where if you were bleeding, like the dinosaurs could follow you into rooms. They were designated rooms. They couldn't just follow you into any room. But like there were designated rooms where it would be like a string of like 3 or 4 rooms. And like if you were bleeding or you didn't kill all the dinosaurs in a room, or if a dino was chasing after you and then you just like, I don't want to deal with it, and you went to one of the door loading screens, the dinosaur could follow you. It could also go through the door loading screen and follow you into the next room, and that's terrifying. It's a really, really cool concept. And Dino Crisis 2, like, I know a lot of people like Dino Crisis 2 better, but, like, I feel like it lost something in its pursuit to be more of an arcadey action game. Like, it was still cool. Once again, it was still a cool game. But I think it lost a lot of the charm in its pursuit to become more unique. I feel like, to me at least, because once again, I'm pretty sure I'm in the outlier here, because I think a lot more people like 2 versus 1, at least in a general aspect. But to me, Dino Crisis 2 kind of loses something that 1 had. I lost the fear of the dinosaur in 2. Because, like, I had guns. I had so many guns, even. The whole point of the game was to kill dinosaurs and rack up combos. It was now an action game. And it lost that fear of the dinosaur, which I think the first game perfectly encapsulated. Like the final boss, no matter what ending you get, the final boss is a Tyrannosaurus Rex, which, if it gets too close to you, will just kill you in one hit. Because of course it will. It's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's a T-Rex. Its mouth is as big as you are, if not twice the size. Of course you die in one hit. That's why you run. I don't know. And then, once again, like, uh, Dino Stalker was just a continuation of the action aspect, but also just really, really short, has a weird plot. That's a sequel to Dino Crisis 2. Uh, and it's in first person and also has railgun segments. Really weird, really interesting. Kind of an interesting game, but also not good either, in its own special way. And then you have 3, the one that has 3 in the title, which isn't a sequel to 2 at all, or even Dino Stalker. It's just kind of its own thing. It uses Dino Crisis as like a skin rather than it being a continuation. So yeah, I I feel like with every entry, the games just kind of got worse. It's really sad. It's kind of sad. I do wish, like, I think Dino Crisis deserves like a remake more so than any of the Resident Evil games at this point. Like, at this point, they've made a remake of uh Resident Evil 1 through 4. I know the Resident Evil 1 remake came out in like 2002, but like still they've done remakes of 1 through 4, and those are like the heavy hitter Resident Evil games. I say try at the very least to breathe new life into Dino Crisis, because Dino Crisis is cool. Dino Crisis has so much untapped potential because they every single game they were trying to like re-innovate themselves, and to me it's just like, no, just genuinely just make Resident Evil with dinosaurs. Have a mad scientist that's trying to find a third energy source, and he basically creates time travel, but the time travel backfires, and he's bringing creatures from prehistoric times like dinosaurs. You could even have giant insects even be an enemy if you want to go like full prehistoric. Have giant insects as well, and dinosaurs, and just a whole bunch of stuff. You can even still kind of have like a mutant angle, like Dino Crisis 3, uh, where it's just like, well, of course, this mad scientist who's trying to discover the third energy is going to look at these dinosaurs and go, I could probably do something with these guys, and he ends up making like abominations. That's kind of the Gigantosaurus. I'm pretty sure the Gigantosaurus isn't an actual dinosaur. I'm pretty sure it's like some weird hybrid that they tried to make. In fact, I'm gonna look that up right now. You know what? I'll be damned. There is apparently an actual dinosaur just called the Gigantosaurus. Or the Yeah, Gigantosaurus. Just calling dinosaur the big guy. Just call it the big guy. That's crazy. I can't believe that's actually a real dinosaur. That sounds so made up. It's literally just big dinosaur, giga dinosaur, the big one. Uh, that's funny. I'm sorry. I can't believe it. That's actually crazy. Uh, my point still stands. They could do a mutant angle too if they want to. That could be the escalation. You could even have like reptilian human hybrids. Like the ape dinosaur mutants, like that's actually a kind of a cool enemy type uh in this game. The only problem is the fact that this game only really has 3 enemies, not including bosses. Slithering, actually 4, 4, 5, kind of. Uh, but they're really basic. Slithering enemies, uh, velociraptors, and then the primate reptile creatures. Uh, and then you have like 2 forms of android, one that will fire a laser and one that will get really close to you and explode. Uh not a lot of enemy variety, and a lot of those enemies, even though they have different attacks, are dodged in the same way. Wait until they start their attack animation and then immediately like hit the dash button and a direction, and you basically dodge them every single time. And then of course you just keep tapping the fire button. You don't want to hold it because then you'll charge up an attack, and honestly charging up attacks is really really useless except for bosses. For regular enemies, or if you can find like a weird corner where it's just like, oh, these guys can't jump up on here, I'm going to cheese this real quick. uh but yeah, the enemy variety is, the enemies that they have are interesting, but actually in practice you're fighting velociraptors 70% of the game, the little snake creatures uh about 10% of the time, and then the amount of those homo reptilian creatures, like 20% of the time, just the entirety of the energy facility basically, uh with a couple of the android ones sprinkled in between, but it's mostly the velociraptor ones. uh the game reuses the same boss 3 times. You have the first boss, uh and then towards the end of the game they bring it back. And like if they just did that, that would have been like, okay, yeah, that's kind of cool. Like, hey, especially if you actually got stronger. Like imagine actually like getting new weapons and actually like getting stronger, and we went from like, oh man, this thing's like terrifying, oh, I'm so scared, to like, oh man, it's this guy again, and like he has a couple more attacks, but like you're tearing through him now because you're so much more powerful. But no, he's just as bullet spongy as he was the first time. And then they bring it back a third time for the escape sequence. Just completely unchanged. Also, all the fights are completely unchanged. I think maybe the second fight he was slightly more aggressive, but I don't know if he actually was more aggressive or if it was just because the room was smaller. So like and then the final boss is basically a Hydra T-Rex that uses the Gigantosaurus DNA. But like he comes out of nowhere. Like you fight Mother and you think it's like over. Like of course you have the escape sequence, but it's just like what else could be after Mother? Oh, weird black and red dinosaur creature that you haven't seen at all before. Immediately wrecks your shit, kills your pseudo sister that the game really, really wants you to connect to, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. And then that's also the final boss, and it grows a third head. Also, it has 2 heads, and it grows a third head in the final boss fight. And the final boss fight also has a top-down shooter segment when you get it to like the last third of its health. That's really, really easy, and like ends with you, like after you deplete the health bar, it like starts glowing really really brightly and then like spins around like a Beyblade and then flies into the, I don't know. This game's nuts. uh Also set, if it was nuts and good, that'd be one thing, but it's stupid and bad. So it really does kind of have nothing. Uh but like it has good concepts. I'm sure during the conceptual phase, everyone was just like, "Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, this is so cool." And then they made the game. And then they made the game. Uh yeah. I I think that's all I got. That's Dino Crisis 3, I guess. Also, none of the bosses were good. None of the bosses were good. All the bosses were like super bullet spongy. Unless you used the limit breaker. And even then the limit breaker doesn't last that long. So you have to like stock up on limit breakers. It's so weird. It's so weird. Yeah. I I will say most positive thing I can say is that I do think this is probably better than Dino Stalker, but that isn't a high bar. Thank you all for watching, especially if you got this far and stick around, because there's a lot more to come.